You put Johnny Depp on the stand. It's always a high-risk strategy. It worked for you. If you were representing Sean Diddy Combs, would you put him up?
Well, we put Johnny up because he was telling the truth. So that was a very easy decision to make, and he had the burden of proof. And frankly, we couldn't have stopped him even if we wanted to, but we didn't want to. Telling the truth as he did over several days, you're not telling the truth. Skilled attorneys on the other side are going to puncture that. I believe in that system. I think in this case, I don't think he's got any choice. Given that video, he's got to explain it. He's got to say that he's terribly sorry for it, but that was an aberration. That's not who he is. He simply
Today in a New York federal courtroom, Sean Diddy Combs told the judge he was, quote, a little nervous. The rap mogul's criminal trial began this morning. He is sex trafficking, racketeering, and more. The two sides are now in the process of selecting a jury of 12 plus.
Things getting real heated in Diddy's courtroom showdown. Day 3 of jury picking and folks in there tense as hell. Everybody feeling the pressure from the DA to Diddy's high-priced squad of attorneys. But what really got Diddy fired up? The judge pulled a slick move and brought in a familiar face from celebrity courtroom drama. Ben Chew, the same dude who helped Johnny Depp beat that wild case against Amber Heard.
Mr. Depp built a reputation as one of the most talented actors in Hollywood. A respected artist whose name was associated with success at the box office. Today, his name is associated.
Now, over the first 2 days, they done pulled in 167 folks trying to figure out who's fit for jury duty. Right out the gate, 49 people got cut loose. The rest, they had to answer around 100 yes or no questions, mainly on where they get their news from and how they feel about Diddy. Some straight up said they ain't feeling him. Others wasn't even sure they could stay neutral. By day 3, they trimmed it down to 35 possibles. These folks from all walks of life, some in design, social work, medicine, manufacturing. Age-wise, it's a spread from 30s all the way up to folks in their 80s. They stay informed through YouTube, social media, newspapers, and whatnot. That's why this jury finna be real unpredictable, especially since celebs stay weighing in on this case, making it easier for these jurors to get swayed. Just look at Dr. Umar, for example.
I'm sure about this upcoming Diddy trial that's coming up in a few days. I think it's coming up in about 4 or 5 days. How you feel about Cassie testifying against Diddy?
Yes, sir. First of all, it should be absolutely illegal for Cassie to testify against Diddy. When he paid her off, I believe there was an NDA involved in that situation. He was paying her off to shut up and go away. After all the money he paid her, after her signing an NDA, how can she then be brought back into court to testify against them? It reminds me of Bill Cosby. Some of those women who lied on Bill Cosby during his sex abuse cases had NDAs, and the court let them break the NDA. You never see this with a white man accused of the same. You never see this with a Caucasian accused of the same. His lawyer should do all that they can to fight against Cassie testifying. She wasn't sex trafficked. So why are you testifying in a sex trafficking case? He is not being charged with crimes against Cassie. He's being charged with crimes against others. Cassie was paid and dismissed. Why is she being brought back into court after taking that man's money and testifying against him? That right there is clearly an excessive and abusive use of the law. Absolutely wrong. I do not like it. As far as Puffy asking for his case to be delayed, I agree with that. Remember, one of his lawyers recused himself, okay, at least one of them. So he probably has, some new people on his legal team. They got to get reacclimated and get caught up with what's going on. And I saw nothing wrong with him asking for a 2-month delay. He's already in jail. Y'all didn't give him bail, which y'all also think is a violation of his constitutional rights. So he should have got the 8-week delay. But here we go again. Deion Sanders. We want to make an example out of Puff. And of course, Deion wasn't accused of what Puffy is being accused of, but we want to make an example out of Sean Puffy Combs. He was too confident. He was too big. and it was time for us to bring them.
Now the judge trying to lock in the final 12 jurors, plus 6 alternates. But listen, this ain't no small case. Diddy got 5 heavy federal charges on his back. Prosecutors claim he ran a whole underground ring with sex, drugs, and deception. Word is his ex, Cassie Ventura, might even take the stand. If he gets convicted, he might end up behind bars for life. To get the courtroom ready, the judge called in Ben Chu, Johnny Depp's lawyer, to break down how celebrity jury selection really works.
Do you also have a member of the team going through the social media of these jurors, making sure they didn't do anything? I mean, how much research can you do in terms of, did they search for something? Did they say something? I always am curious about that because you come into court the next day and you always hear a prosecutor or defense attorney say, court, we have an issue we would like to bring to your attention. Juror number 5 was looking, it's like, how did they find that out? Is that what happens?
Well, it is in a high stakes case like this. I mean, as you know, not all clients have the resources to hire, jury consultants and to hire investigators. But in this case, you have a defendant who could theoretically be sentenced to life in prison, who has the means. So I'm sure, or I would think, that his counsel have a team of investigators following the jurors around to the extent they can and looking for any electronic footprint.
Now, I mentioned before how can you believe the jurors? How do you know they're telling the truth? Well, I'll tell you what we've seen so far in the Combs jury selection process, you have what seems to be a lot of honesty, okay? Because you had one prospective juror who told the court that she had been sexually assaulted as a teenager, and that if the defense brings up at trial that, look, these alleged victims didn't report what they say happened to them, this juror indicated they would understand why, and they would be biased in the alleged victim's favor. This juror was excluded.
Ben said usually folks jump at the chance to sit on a celebrity trial. It's flashy, got that once-in-a-lifetime vibe. But this time, nah, hardly anybody trying to be part of it. Why? Because this ain't some celebrity gossip mess, and it's criminal, with some dark and disturbing stuff involved. Evidence might be too much for some folks, and word is, Diddy's sweating the whole jury process too.
This morning, day 2 of jury selection in the racketeering and sex trafficking trial of Sean Combs, seen in court with graying hair. Federal prosecutors are trying to prove Combs used his power, wealth, and fame to force women into drug-fueled orgies he called freak-offs and then threaten them into silence.
The jury questionnaire warning potential jurors there may be evidence of sexually explicit videos, photographs, and language. Many prospective jurors said they had heard of the case, and this potentially damning evidence, video first obtained by CNN showing Combs knocking then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura to the floor of a Los Angeles hotel in 2016 and kicking and dragging her. It was upsetting to watch, one woman told the judge, but I don't know the full story, so I can listen to the facts.
Many prospective jurors said they recognized the names of other celebrities that might come up at trial.
Several potential jurors knew of Combs' cultural significance. The woman said she remembered him from Making the Band. A man said he liked to listen to hip-hop in the 1990s.
Can't nobody hold me down.
When Combs became a chart-topping artist. To remain in the jury pool, all had to say they could be fair. The judge tried to keep things moving, so when the defense asked for a bathroom break, Combs apologized, saying, "Sorry, Your Honor, I'm a little nervous today."
Ben also gave his thoughts on what kind of jurors might lean in Diddy's favor. He said the defense might want younger folks, ones who ain't quick to get shocked and who keep an open mind. He also said more men might be better for Diddy, not because women ain't fair, but because some of the case details might hit harder for women emotionally, and that could mess with objectivity.
You put Johnny Depp on the stand, it's always a high-risk strategy. It worked for you. If you were representing Sean Diddy Combs, would you put him up?
Well, we put Johnny up because he was telling the truth. So that was a very easy decision to make, and he had the burden of proof, and frankly, we couldn't have stopped him even if we wanted to, but we didn't want to. Telling the truth as he did over several days, you're not telling the truth, skilled attorneys on the other side are going to puncture that. I believe in that system. I think in this case, I don't think he's got any choice. Given that video, he's got to explain it. He's got to say that he's terribly sorry for it, but that was an aberration. That's not who he is. He simply
Now here's where it starts getting messy. Word on the street is Diddy was heated when the judge brought in Johnny Depp's lawyer. Behind the scenes, he supposedly lost it. His legal squad ain't see it coming, and Diddy think this might throw the whole trial off. And let's be real, whoever lands on that jury could flip the whole outcome. How this trial gonna play out? Drop it in the comments.